Welcome to the Mr. Golf Tips. In today's golf tip we're going to cover the basics of putting. I think in recent years there's been so many different techniques implemented by so many different golfers, but let's get back to the basics of the setup and the posture of the putting stroke. Let's take a look on the right hand screen here from the front view. Firstly, we see the feet would be around about shoulder width apart. We'll see the ball position is just inside the left or front heel. Then we start to look at the shaft. The shaft will sit pretty much, if we draw a line through our centre, the shaft will sit like so. I think in chipping we have a slight lean of the shaft. In the putting, because it's a rolling motion rather than getting a steep angle of attack into the ball, the club will set fairly straight down the centre. Let's take a look now from the back view. One of the keys in putting, which is also quite different to the rest of the game, our eyes will actually set over the golf ball, our hands will hang underneath our shoulders. In the alignment, our knees, feet, shoulders and hips are all in alignment. And also another one of the keys in the putting stroke, if you take a look again here on the right hand screen, our eyes are parallel to the ground. There's no tilt of the eyes, thus it will make it quite difficult for us to stroke the putter on the correct path. If we take a look at the forearms, they are relaxed, and we also see that the shaft and the forearms are in alignment, which once again is quite different to the rest of the game, as we tend to create more of a hinge in a setup position with a normal setup. Okay, now let's take a look at the actual stroke itself. Play this through in full motion. Now what we see different with the actual putting stroke is the lower body is quite still. Just highlight the lower body, and we'll see the putting stroke is done with the forearms, hands and the shoulders. We'll see the rocking motion here. The body stays very still, and the putter rocks up and the putter rocks down. If we take a look here again from the back view, I'll highlight that lower body. We'll see that the lower body stays very still. The putter stroke works back with the arms and forearms and shoulders, and then works through. This is only a relatively short putt, and the putter will stay on a fairly straight up and down path. As we go to longer putts, we'll find that the stroke will tend to round off a little bit. If we take a look at this stroke, the putting stroke will pretty much stay in the parameters of those two yellow lines. Once again, one of the differences in the putting stroke to the rest of the game, the head will stay very still. If we take a look here in the setup position, we'll make the stroke of the ball. Now the head will actually stay very still. The arms, forearms and shoulders will release through. This will keep the putter face square to the line. I think one of the problems that a lot of golfers tend to do, they tend to follow the ball too much with their eyes, and this tends to lead them to open the blade and miss a lot of putts to the right. Now this is just the basics of the putting stroke, and in the setup position, I think as we get a little bit more advanced, which we'll talk about in future tips, is understanding the speed and the alignment of the putting action.